What's up, guys? Vince Ryder here, and welcome to my review of Granvir, or basically first impressions. It's not a review. What am I saying? Yeah, I've been playing this for just a little bit. I think like a few, like 4 days or something like that. And I gotta say, it does remind me of Armored Core, in kind of like in a way where it's like, at least the PSP Armored Core. I never played the other Armored Cores, especially the new one. Are you kidding me? Come on now. Where's my PS5? Soon though, that's for sure. But yeah, I played Granvir early access to the point where it's basically it's basically like the health bar isn't showing, so I don't know what that is about. And I really enjoy basically like a good old just third person action roguelike video game focus. In like customizing your bot the way like the customization kind of took me a bit to actually recognize, and pretty much I had to learn here and there, especially when it comes to the hours and replacement parts that you need, like, but other than that, it's been a while since we ever had like a mech type of game like this. Like, there hasn't really been a game that is kind of, I guess, yes, there is a bunch of mech games, but a mech game like this where it's very authentic to I guess Gundam, in the PS2 days. At least that's what I remember playing, Gundam, Mobile Suit Gundam, and also Armored Core, on the PSP. This kind of reminds me of it. Maybe it's a different when it comes down to aesthetics, because we are compared to two different games. And this game itself, I'm not sure if it's trying to look like old school Armored Core or something like that. It's indie, but what does it does well when it comes down to, I guess, the combat. Like, even though you have a few storage slots here and there, like 5 or 6, I feel like it's sort of like, I wish there's other ways to actually get more of the loot, because I would like to have more loot, but I get that there's a limit. So you have to kind of like decide, like, okay, what do you want to put in your storage slots in order to actually move on to the game. And for like most of the time when I'm fighting different mechs here and there, and they come in packs, so you kind of have to be like combat ready, because you'll enter certain areas in the map where it's like very big, and then you'll just get bombarded with all these freaking mechs that are just on you. But I would just one melee hit on most of these, at least with the weapons that I was given. It kind of depends, kind of like in that Fortnite. It's not like Fortnite at all. Okay, I don't. Yes, I don't play Fortnite, but I still remember the times I played it. And when it comes, it's the looting aspect of like whatever weapon you get. Of course, they don't land in the ground like Fortnite. Okay, but hold on. It does it so well where I guess each weapon can somewhat be, used in a way where, and if your melee weapon is not really good enough, of course you can just you can kick any mech as you pretty much move on. I kind of wish that, there was a way to run. I don't know if I discovered that. I'm kind of still early on the game. There is like you sort of boost and you go, shifting left and right here and there, but you're only given a certain amount of stamina for your mech to actually go around. And like, if it's used up, and pretty much, yeah, you're kind of screwed, especially with the situations that I've been in. Like, I was trying to get loot in here and there. And there's times where I kind of wish that you just the moment that you open like some of the loot or something like that, I wish the enemies would stop, because they would sneak up on you out of nowhere. And the areas are so open. I feel like you do find a lot of what the game offers in terms of looking through the forest or going through these different areas within the game. But it's feels, I don't know, it feels like it's too much open-ended for something linear. And I don't know, I'm still new to the game, of course. This is my first impressions. For something like this, where any new person that is kind of new to the mech genre itself like it was new for me, but at least I kind of get how to go into these levels and go into these different campaigns and stuff like that. And what to, you always have to have like one gun and one melee weapon. And sometimes you can also like have like a melee on the right, because it's kind of like your right and left hand on the mech. Your right could actually have two. We could have like a melee support, but also a gun, and you kind of switcheroo different here and there. Now, would I do that for both hands itself? I didn't try that. Okay, I don't know if it allows that. But I'd rather have like, okay, one hand has the gun and the other has the melee weapon. And then you just go in and wreak havoc on just any level, because it feels like it doesn't stampede you in a way where it's like, oh man, all these enemies just coming out of nowhere. But it would like, one after the other and the other. Thank goodness you can hide and sort of dodge their bullets, and when they come closer you can actually attack them, because a lot of times you're going to run out of bullets. And I find it's mostly medium bullets that I'm using, or medium bullet guns. I don't know what would count as like a more powerful gun, but then again, you have to be a good shooter to actually take down these mechs and stuff. It's an overall good game. When it comes down to a mech game like this, I definitely recommend for Granvir. It runs okay on my PC, especially having a cheap PC, so I can only guarantee you it might run well on Steam Deck. Still early access, like something's up with the glitching of the freaking menu, and all the other stuff that that I'm noticing. Yeah, it's a good old mech, and it does like different aspects of whoever played old school Armored Core or something like that pretty well, at least to me. But other than that, yeah, go check out Granvir, third-person action roguelike mech builder. And other than that, I guess I give it like a 8 out of 10. Still room to improve. Other than that, I'll see you Wednesday. One love, a piece of God bless.